Shanti Mantra. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishabhai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. There was some technical problem, and also in the last few classes there was some, some confusion in the presentation also, in the titles and the anubakas, that is the mantras. In each book, not in each book, in many books, they are differently presented. So I wanted a corrected version to be put. Corrected means which is more common and more acceptable. So that is why we would like to show the slides from 13th onward. That is, the first one is Sadhana to discover Brahman, Brahmanandavalli, 1st to 9th Anuvaka. The first, or so whatever we have discussed about the Shanti Mantra and the first Anuvaka, they are okay. There was no confusion. In the second, third, the shlokas have got a little mixed up, so I tried to put them straight. So those who are serious in following the lectures with the book and all, I would suggest that they ignore the previous shlokas of second and third and take from these, what we are presenting today. I will just briefly say something. Let us see how much we can do, because already we have lost some 20 minutes. The 14th slide, the next slide. Here the title we have changed to Speciality of this Upanishadic Upasana. So it is not only about the third Anuvaka or second Anuvaka. It is a general discussion which I had gone through the full thing and thought that a presentation, summary presentation will help us to have a good clarity. So this is true of the whole Brahmanandavalli, that how the meditation is presented. In the books also, in the translations, we find that it has been mentioned about almost like the Panchakosha Viveka, that is the 5 sheaths, which I pointed out the other day also. Upanishad doesn't talk about the sheaths, it is not really sheath. It talks about the 5 Purushas. The 5 sheaths are a little objective interpretation of Sankhya. And it has been taken in the Panchadashi also by Vidyaranya. But experientially and for correct understanding, I feel we have to go by what the Upanishad says. So again there is technical trouble what to do. Now I was saying that in the numbering and presentation title and numbering of the mantras, anuvakas, as we say in Taittiriya, some confusion was there. So I would like to put it straight today. So the slides also from this 14th onward, It will be better to follow today's slides and ignore the slides presented previously. Only from this section, not the earlier ones. So this speciality of this Upanishadic Upasana, I was telling, I don't know whether it was broadcast or not, I was talking that generally there is a difference between these 5 Purushas and the Panchakosha Viveka. In many of the Shastras, particularly in Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya philosophy, the 5 sheaths are spoken of, Panchakosha. Now, when you talk about 5 sheaths, all these sheaths are inert. They are not living. They are 5 sheaths of our personality. In Sankhya, the living element is only the Purusha, and all other portions, that is the body, mind, intelligence, the whole personality, is under Prakriti, which is Jada, which is not living. So their description is a little different, we have to understand. And I would like to say that experientially also in this meditation, whatever the Upanishad has said, it's different from understanding it as kosha or sheath. So I would like to follow as it is presented in the Upanishads and try to understand how it experientially corresponds to our sadhana. All these are upasana, means meditation. And everywhere you will find in these 5 sheets the Anna Brahma Upasana. That is, Anna is meditated upon as the Brahman. Then Prana is meditated upon as the Brahman, Prana Brahma. Then Mana is meditated upon as the Brahman, Manomaya Purusha, Mana Brahma. Then Vijnana is meditated as the Purusha, as the Brahman. Then Ananda is meditated upon as the ultimate, as the Brahman. So, if we talk about the kosha or sheath, then this kind of experience will not come. I mean, it will not be properly represented. So let us see how far we can go. This I wanted to explain in a few slides in a summary manner. Speciality of this Upanishadic Upasana, number 1 on this. To explain or understand creation, various models are used. In Sankhya, Purusha, pure consciousness, witness, and Prakriti, nature or matter, including human mind and emotions, are fundamentally different. Two independent principles, Purusha and Prakriti in Sankhya philosophy, are fundamentally 2 different principles, which is widely different from Vedanta. So Purusha does not play any role in the evolution of the world. The whole evolution of the world is Prakriti's display. Next slide. In Vedanta, we considered the gross world as a projection or an appearance in Purusha or Brahman or consciousness, whatever we may say. Essence of everything living or non-living is Brahman or Atma. Because consciousness is hiding even in the grossest inert matter, we see the manifestation of consciousness in nature. That is, originally it is an appearance on Atma, on consciousness, whatever we are saying, gross matter or living matter or non-living matter. The fact is that the essential element is the Atma, is the consciousness. Everything, the only existence is consciousness alone. in Kathopanishad, everywhere it has been mentioned very well. Kathopanishad, it is astityevopalabdhabhya. It is that real existence is the existence of I, of the consciousness. All other things are only appearance on that. Next slide. So in physical sciences, we consider that, like physics, particularly physics, we considered the subtle consciousness as an offshoot of gross matter. In Vedanta, we consider gross matter as an appearance in subtle consciousness. See, as in science, we believe that our consciousness, human consciousness, is an offshoot of gross matter. There, actually, by consciousness, what we mean is the consciousness which is manifest in association with the body. In our Shastras, it is referred to as Chidabhasa, Chit Abhasa. It is like, as earlier I have said, the light reflected by the mirror. It is the reflected beam, not the original beam. So Chidabhasa is the consciousness we speak about in science. Now it is true that it is an evolution of matter which is producing the consciousness, because initially matter was inert, then life expressed through matter, then further the molecules become further, cells become further complicated, and then through the cells what is expressed is the consciousness or awareness. Now in spirituality, what we say is that it is not a product of that, but consciousness, the matter which is becoming ready to manifest the consciousness, we are coming to know consciousness through that. So consciousness is the primary, and matter is only an appearance on consciousness. So in Vedanta, these are very clear and experiential truths. But I don't want to go deeper into it because it may become a little complicated. The world we perceive is based on our 5 sense perceptions. So our perceived world is made of panchabhuta, 5 elements corresponding to our 5 senses. Now here also we find a difference from the physical model, because the whole model is based on our perception. Whatever you may say, the world we are seeing is as it is perceived by our 5 senses. Suppose we had 7 senses, the world would have been different. If we have 3 senses, the world we see would have been different. It is the senses which are presenting the world. Not only that, when we look into our perceptions also, just from the outside senses, when we go in, proceed in, it is all the electrical pulses carried by the nerves. Whether it is touch, smell, vision, sound, everything. When the signals are going to the brain, it's all electrical pulses passing to the brain. There is no sight, no sound, no touch, nothing like that. Those electrical pulses, they excite in different portions of the brain, and according to that they produce the touch, vision, sound, etc. in our cortices. Now that means it is not the vision is carried directly to that. It has a correspondence, but it is not. The real vision is produced within. So in our Shastras, always we consider Devatas. Devatas means brilliance. They are all inner powers. So outside Indriyas are considered to be Sthula Indriyas or gross Indriyas. Whereas the real performance, the real projection of the world is done by the different devas which ruling the different Indriyas. Now even there also, suppose we try to find out what is there in the brain, where is the vision, where is the sound and all, we won't get anything. We will get only electrical signals in the brain, operating in the brain. If you take an EEG, we will find only electrical signals over there. But our mind is perceiving mind is perceiving all the entire world from those electrical signals. I am sure when there is no external object also in dream, when we are seeing the whole new dream world, you will find corresponding electrical signals must have been generated in the brain, in the corresponding cortices. We will be able to detect if we know that what we are seeing in dream. So, the whole world perception, according to our Shastras, is made of our 5 sense perceptions, or 5 devas, or 5 indriyas. So, whatever we know about the world, we can explain the whole world in terms of these 5 perceptions. You can say in science it is 5 coordinates only. Elementary particles and all, they might be any number, but for our perception we need this 5. We know only the Panchabhuta world. That is why our Panchabhuta never gets changed. It has always been human beings having 5 senses, and it is continuing like that. Suppose today we develop a new sense organ which will sense forget about magnetic or other things. Even when our vision, suppose, it develops a microscopic vision, will you see the world as you are seeing? It will be entirely different. Suppose your eyes start seeing the elementary particles, will the world be like this? It will be entirely different. So the limitation of our senses also helps to create the world we are seeing. It all depends on that. It is not independent. So this, our Shastra's description are always based on these 5 sense perceptions. Next slide. Now, here we have presented the second Anuvaka as it is in most of the books, and it should be like this. This slide and the second slide. So earlier we had second and third. There are in 3 slides, second Anuvaka 1, second Anuvaka 2, second Anuvaka 3 it will come. The whole mantra is given. You can just show second, the next slide and next slide. 2, then 3. Now these I have already done, so I am not going into it. I am only for putting it in the right perspective. Then it comes to in this Anuvaka it has been discussed, the projection of gross world in Atma or consciousness or Brahman. Next slide, 20. This also I have discussed the last day. There is no change in this. That from Atma consciousness, they are saying the firstborn was the space or Akasha, which has the quality, which has the can call it property or quality as Shabdaha or sound. We discussed all these in detail the other day, last class, that sound means may not be audible sound, but it is any vibration. So it starts from a vibration. Then comes Vayuhu, which is also the life forces. In our Shastras, the air and life forces, they are same, because our life forces depend on the air. If we don't have air, then we cannot live. And in each such production, when from Akasha we go to Vayu, these are actually talking about Sthula Bhuta. Sthula Bhuta means as the elements we are perceiving. Now, in the original fivefold division or five elements, each is separate. The Akasha is having only the quality of Shabda. The Vayu is having only the quality of Sparsha. But that is not the actual Sparsha. When we come to the actual feelable world, then these are getting formed. The second element is getting formed with the association of the first. Third one is having first and second also. Fourth one is having 1, 2, 3 and 4, like that. So that way the Akasha is having only Shabda. Vayu is having Shabda and Sparsha. Agni is having Shabda, Sparsha and Rupa. Apaha or water is having Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, that is the tongue. Prithvi is having Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa and Gandha. So all the five gross elements are born like this. A mixture, each element is mixture of the other five original Mula elements. Then they are saying that after the earth is formed, from the earth is coming Oshadhaya. Oshadhaya is herb. From the herbs, what is happening is our food is made of the herb. It is whether we are vegetarian or non-vegetarian doesn't matter. Some animals are taking the vegetables and becoming our food as non-vegetarian food. But all are from the herbs and earth, from the Oshadhaya. And that Annam is giving rise to Purusha, means the conscious being. Here the Purusha is not the ultimate supreme consciousness we are talking about. Here the Purusha is the limited, body-limited personality, living personality, which we are knowing generally. Anna Rasa Maya Purusha. We have written it like that. Now here again we want to point out that when it is an appearance on the Atma, it is all a manifestation of the Atma. The Atma is not missed. Even when it is space, air, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi, Oshadhaya, Annam, everywhere the Atma is the essence of that. Not only as the seed, but as the essence, Atma is present. Next slide. Now, if it is so, now we are at the Annamaya Purusha. That means we are having a gross body and we know it is our body. We are mostly thinking of our I as this body-centric. So we call it Dehatma Buddhi. Dehatma Buddhi means Deha, we consider the Deha, the body, as our real identity, Atma. See, this Atma is defined as Aham Pratyaya Gocharaha. From whatever we refer to as I, that conviction, that I, that is referring to, whatever that I is referring to, that is the Atma. So as long as we are thinking this body is what I am, so it is called Dehatma Bodha. That is, I am considering the body as the I. Now actually this body is not just a gross body. It is actually the consciousness from which the whole gross world started. Through the evolution of the gross world has finally manifested the consciousness in our being. So it's a full evolution from the gross object to the coming back to the consciousness. This is the evolution of the world. Now, we don't know that this is the evolution of the world. But we certainly our rishis have discovered that there is a way of getting back to the original, to get rid of all our sufferings, all our dukkhas, all our constrictions of the mind, all our smallness, all our bondages. Everything is simply relieved if we can get back to our real identity. When they call this real identity, they mean that our identity is not this body, but our identity is the Brahman or Atma or the consciousness. That is our real identity. And that can be discovered when we are alive, not after death. This is the whole basis of Vedanta, and that is why the Vedanta talks about Jivan Mukti, that some freedom of mukti after the body falls and all, that is not Vedanta's. The Vedanta's mukti is Jivan Mukti. Why? How? We have to trace back and reach our real identity. That is what we have, that is the meditation this Upanishad is talking about. Not only in Brahmananda Valli, it is again spoken of in the Bhrigu Valli in a different manner, through a story, where Bhrigu is a very young boy and he is going to his father and asking questions, repeatedly meditating and coming back and saying something like that. Bhrigu is getting enlightened. That is there in the Bhrigu Valli, the next section, the third section and the last section of Taittiriya. In this section, Brahmananda Valli, how to get back. All these things have come from Atma. So Atma is hiding in all matter as a seed. Actually, it is not as a seed, it as an essence. That is the essence on which all our others are appearance only. Now the question is how to get back to this seed, Atma, from the Anna Rasamaya Purusha, where we are having the Dehatma Buddhi. In a more matured sense, how to get back to from Dehatma Buddhi to Brahmatma Ekatva Bodha. Brahma Atma Ekatva Bodha. That what I am considering to be a puny Atma, restricted, contained by the body, is not at all different, no different from the Brahman, the universal consciousness. Brahma Atma Ekatva Bodha. That should become the realization. That is our ultimate goal in spirituality. So here it is how to go from this Dehatma Buddhi to Brahmatma Ekatva Bodha. For that, the Upanishad presents a meditation based on 5 identities, gross to subtle. There I have written, it is similar to, but fundamentally different from Panchakosha Viveka of Sankhya philosophy. As I explained just in the beginning, that Panchakosha, when we are saying 5 sheaths, sheaths are all inert, and as if we are crossing from one wall to another wall to another wall, we are going from one room to another room to another room. It is not like that. It is in this personality itself, we have to feel that initially the grossness, the sthula, the rigidity of the body, the grossness of the body has to completely get merged in the vibration of prana, as if the whole body is pulsating with prana everywhere. The prana is felt in the whole body. So it is not really a sheath. Here the Annamaya Purusha is getting transformed into Pranamaya Purusha. And as we go to the subtler level, the boundary remains, but the boundary becomes a little hazy. There will be a overspreading of there will be a radiation from the whole thing. So from the Pranamaya Purusha, so it is, what I was saying is that it is not crossing one wall after another wall, and as if I am Purusha, I am crossing the Panchakosha, the 5 sheets, one after another, and finally reaching the goal. It's not like that. The whole Purusha is getting transformed into Pranamaya Purusha, then Manomaya Purusha, then Vijnanamaya Purusha, then Anandamaya Purusha, and then getting merged in the Atma. So the significance is that this Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha, these are there in the Panchakosha Viveka also. But it is not kosha. What we want to say is, the Upanishad has clearly said that the Pranamaya Purusha, the Annamaya Purusha, is filled with the Pranamaya, Pranamaya Purusha. Pranamaya Purusha is like the Annamaya Purusha, but it is not that. It is filling the Annamaya Purusha. It is the whole prana vibration. And not only that, he says that one who meditates prana as Brahman, he becomes the universal consciousness. Then I will go to it slowly, one after another. Next slide. This I have shown earlier also, and I don't think there is any change. From gross identity to Atma, our real identity. See how the description changes. I am not calling it from the Annamaya Kosha to Anandamaya Kosha. And I have shown, that is why the diagram we tried to make something representative so that it remains in our mind, that the whole identity goes on changing. Annamaya Purusha is a solid identity. Pranamaya Purusha is a vibrant, pulsating identity. Manomaya Purusha is a thoughtful, it's a thought-oriented, it's an idea-oriented identity, which is mostly expressive in the brain region, but all over the body also. Vijnanamaya Purusha is the real understanding dawns. When all the Bheda Buddhi goes, then the Vijnana dawns. So it is also a radiating Jnanamaya. It's Vijnanamaya means it is a Jnanamaya identity. And when a person meditates on that, he attains that Vijnanamaya, the cosmic intelligence. Then the next one, further down, further in the subtlety, is the Anandamaya Purusha. There the line of body line is not that clear and solid like that. It's the whole being vibrating, pulsating with Ananda, which we feel as an Ananda or which we call bliss. There the body feeling identity will not be so much there. Although there will be some feeling, but the body feeling will not be so much. But the body is giving rise to the experience of Ananda, that we should not forget. So we have shown the body identity, but at the same time the body periphery. But it's a pulsating Ananda. Next slide. This I think I had shown, that this is what I was saying. The world growing, on the left is external, on the right is internal. The world evolution is from Atma to Akasha to Vayu to Agni to Apaha to Prithvi to Aushadha to Anna, then to Purusha, to Annamaya Purusha. Then to get back from the Annamaya Purusha, we are meditating. This is what we are doing, is a meditation, upasana. We are going from the Annamaya Purusha to Pranamaya Purusha. See, the basic difference you should understand. The left side is about the objective world, but the right side is absolutely about our own identity, about our own experience, about our experience in the meditation. That we go to the Pranamaya Purusha, from there to Manomaya Purusha, from there to the Vijnanamaya Purusha, from there to Anandamaya Purusha, and then we have to transcend that also, Ananda also, to get merged in the Atma or Brahman, the real identity. Now, why this Anandamaya Purusha? I had discussed earlier also, maybe last class also, that in Anandamaya Purusha also there is an enjoyment, that bliss. We are feeling the bliss, we are enjoying the bliss. So that duality is still there, that somebody is there to feel something else. So the duality is still there. When we can overcome that, our tendency to enjoy, if we can overcome that, we don't want bliss also, I don't want anything. If we can transcend that by complete surrender, then we will become one with the Brahman, one with the Atma. We will know our real identity. So that is the stage where further the body identity or separation is not there. The Bheda Buddhi has completely gone. Bheda Buddhi will go even in Vijnanamaya Purushaha. How? It will be based on Sarvatma Darshana, that everything is my Ishta or everything is Atma, that kind of a feeling. So, the normal Bheda Buddhi which gives rise to Raga, Dvesha, desires and all, they will go there itself. But still, the little bit of enjoyment, that enjoying the bliss, enjoying the Ananda will be there. So he will be in the Anandamaya Purusha. Finally, if we can get over this tendency to enjoy, we will be able to go further. Next slide. The Upanishad says, Sarvam vaite annam apnoti, ye annam brahma upasate. This kind of statement is there in all the five. Ye annam brahma upasate. One who does the worship of Anna as Brahman. Now, whenever we do worship of anything as Brahman, means it is, we are considering that to be the whole, that to be everywhere. So, actually, the Upanishad says that he attains all Annam, whatever he wants, he attains. Similarly, in the prana, Sarvam evate ayur yanti. Ye pranam brahma upasate. If we meditate on the prana and we come to realize the prana everywhere, then we can have whatever is the ayus or the span of life, you can say, the meaning, I don't know what should be the actual meaning, but he identifies with the universal life force. The main change is from the restricted, body-limited prana, and the body is always expressing the prana. That kind of a constricted feeling, we will go to the feeling of the universal prana. Like that, for each identity, it is there in the Upanishad, in these mantras. I am not going into the mantras in detail, only the gist I am talking about. But this is what the mantras speak. Next. Now, analogy of a bird. In each of these five mantras, you will find that the individual is compared with a bird. Now, why bird, we don't know. Most probably that we always consider anything sukshma, subtle, or freedom to be going to the sky. Even the poets also, like the swans flying in the sky. We always try to float in the sky, considering it to be freedom. So maybe that these birds having the two pakshas with which it is flying, and the tail is giving it the balance. The main idea is, the fundamental thing is in the head, then comes the trunk. The trunk is holding the two pakshas, two what do we call it? The two wings. Now with the two wings the bird has to fly. And if the tail has to keep the balance everywhere, it is coming from there. It is the support, its pratishtha is the tail. With that idea, next. Now, this is, you have to spend time on it, look at it properly. I have referred to the Anuvakas. The first one say Purusha, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. Then each reference connection you will find in the first Anuvaka, second, third, fourth and fifth Anuvaka of this chapter. Then the head, each is compared with the bird, which you will find at the end of the way. We have shown the birds. Now in the Annamaya bird, they have not mentioned anything. The head is the Shiraha, that is only Sanskrit for head. Right wing, Dakshina Paksha, that is also only just the Sanskrit word for right wing, left wing, trunk. Trunk is the Atma, that is where the identity is about the trunk. And tail, Pucham Pratishtha, that is the stability the bird gets from there. So the first Annamaya is only, they are comparing the Annamaya Purusha with the bird, with the bird's two wings, the head, trunk and the tail. In the Pranamaya, second one, the Pranaha is the head. Prana means the upward breath, which takes us upward, which releases us also. So that is the Pranaha, the head is the Pranaha. Vyanaha, which pervades in the whole body, that is the right wing. And Apanaha, downward breath, is the Apanaha. Samanaha, which digests food, is the trunk. And Udanaha, which gives balance, is the tail. Now these are all imaginary model having some significance, some association with what they have discussed. I cannot say much about it. In the Manomaya, they have each item, that is head is corresponding to Yajurveda, right wing Rigveda, left wing Samaveda, then trunk is Adesha. Adesha is actually Brahmana part of the Vedas. And the tail, which is the support, is the Atharva Angirasa. That is Atharva Rishi and Angirasa Rishi, or Angirasa Rishi of Atharva Veda. That is, it is Atharva Veda also, we can say. Why they have given these Vedas corresponding to the Manomaya? Because Vedas are the Vak, they are the words. The whole Vedas, they consist of whatever mantras we have, they are all in the Vedas. And where are they going? They used, by reading, studying, chanting, etc., the mind used to get filled with those words. So actually the Manomaya Purusha is full of words, full of Vak. And very soon they will say that Yato Vacho Nivartante Aprapya Manasasaha, where all the words come back, even the mind not getting which about the truth. So, although these Vedas are there, but it is only Manomaya. To realize the goal, the Vedas show us, the Vedas want us to reach. That is different. It is only in the mind level, it is only the mantras. And what is a mantra? Mantra is Mananat Trayatiti mantra. Mantra is not just chanting the sound. Truly speaking, mantra is the mind. Every mantra contains some idea. So that idea will go into the mind. The mind will be full of those ideas. Those who are doing the meditation, those who are doing the practice, they will be full of those ideas. Those ideas have to be taken to the Brahman level. That is how those who do upasana or meditation as mana, mind as the Brahman, they attain the universal mind. Those statements also will be there. Next is Vijnanamaya. There they are saying that Shraddha, oh, acha, this I have written down, I think. Can you show the next slide? Here I have written down. The bird of Vijnanamaya Purusha, head is Shraddha. Awakening of real value for truth consciousness. Normally, our buddhi will try to understand the gross objects and the gross world. It will never be aware of the truth, which is our ultimate goal or ultimate freedom. So, it is Shraddha which means that our first awakening to that. That means we start giving value to this truth more than all other things in the world. So that is the head of the bird in Vijnanamaya, awakening of real value for truth consciousness. Then the right wing is Ritam. Ritam is the Satyam manifest. That means the cosmic order, that whatever is the truth, that is getting expressed through the cosmic vibration in nature, the fundamental law of nature. So all the truth in function is Ritam. So Ritam is cosmic order or rhythm. Ritam is rhythm. Functional manifestation of Satyam in the universe. Left wing is Satyam, the supreme truth. It is supreme truth, but it is unmanifest. The trunk part is yoga. Yoga, we generally say the fusion of Atma with Paramatma, or Atma with Brahman. That is generally referred to as yoga. Now, in Vijnana, the very purpose of Vijnana is to connect the Atma to the Paramatma or Brahman. That is the yoga. So the Vijnana's purpose is yoga. And tail is Maha. That is the cosmic intelligence. This Maha, I don't know you remember, in the Shikshavalli we have studied Bhur Bhuva Suvaha, then comes Maha, the fourth one, where it means the cosmic intelligence. So when we meditate on Vijnana as the Brahman, then we get identified with the cosmic intelligence. And we are really speaking in truth. We have not got merged in the truth, but we have a full movement and all the functions that take place in the enlightened manner. That is the Vijnanamaya Bhumi. So here in Vijnana, the Bheda Buddhi gets dissolved. Mind becomes free of desires. Because we understand the truth, automatically the desires fall. And desires fall means, actually, it is the fulfillment of all desires also, as they have spoken earlier. Then the bird of Annamaya Purusha. Next. Anandamaya Purusha. Here the head is Priyam. Priyam means actually love. When we approach with love, Supreme becomes easily attainable. This is where we miss. We try to meditate, we try to attain self-realization, we read this book, that book, chant Vishnu Sahasranama, chant so many mantras, Vedas, everything. Everything becomes an effort. We are not satisfied. We don't feel fulfilled. We don't feel freedom. It is the love that gives us the fulfillment. It is the love which takes us to the oneness with our Ishta or God or Lord or Brahman. When the whole approach is through love, then our sadhana becomes very, very simple and easy. It is because we have not developed the love that we find it difficult. And it is from love that the real Ananda also dawns. Love is not different from Ananda. The real Ananda comes from love. When we have What is love? Love is actually unification. Whenever we love somebody means we consider that person or thing or material or whatever to be mine, owning up. So the moment we own up, we get a joy out of that. So the love is always associated with joy, with ananda, with delight. So the head of Anandamaya Purusha bird is love. When we approach with love, supreme becomes easily attainable. Then the right wing is modaha. Modaha is pleasure, but it is from in touch with the external world. That is pleasure from interaction with the world, with the objective world. That is moda. Whereas pramoda, the left wing is pramoda, which is deeper, which is the deeper delight spontaneously welling forth from within. That is, it may not be always a touch with something. Suppose we are eating something, we get a joy by eating. It is the sparsha of the tongue with the material that is giving us the ananda, the joy. But sometimes we will find that there is a rasa sensation within, which remains not corresponding to any particular object or anything. There is a delight, you feel cheerful, you feel delight. That is called the pramodaha, prakrishta rupena modaha. That is the real enjoyment, which does not depend on the objective things, which does not depend on the touch or interaction with objective things. It just flows out. But it is not in full measure as bliss, but it is an ananda which is flowing. Then the trunk is anandaha. It is the sahajananda from finding ishta in everything. Finding ishta in everything you can say, finding ananda in everything you can say. Everywhere it is the same and the whole universe is sizzling with ananda. Everywhere it is ananda. As the Upanishad describes it as anandadhyeva kalbimani bhutani jayante anandena jatani jivanti anandam pravishanti abhisham vishanti. That the whole universe is born of ananda. It is living by ananda only. And when it is destroyed, it gets merged in ananda alone. There is nothing other than ananda. So the ananda is the primary force, if you can say force, of creation. Joy of creation. It is just happening out of ananda. If we can meditate on ananda Brahma, then we also become one with that. We feel the joy of creation that is working in this universe. Our being gets filled with the joy, vibration of that. That is why it is called Sahajananda. It is not from any particular thing it is coming. Sahaja. Sahaja means normal, natural. It is a coordinate of our soul. It's a coordinate of infinitude. Whenever earlier also I said Ananta means Ananda also. When our mind breaks open all the shackles and it becomes asima, infinite, then automatically Ananda flows. We get merged in Ananda. Sahajananda from finding Ishta in everything. Then the Pratishtha is Brahma. That is the Brahman, that is the consciousness, universal consciousness. That is the ultimate truth. So, this Anandamaya Purusha is the bliss, is the main thing. But this bliss also has to be overcome to attain the self. Okay. We will stop with the Shanti Mantra. Om Sahana Vavatu. Om Sahana Vavatu.
Om Sahana Vavatu
Sahano Bhunaktu
Sahano Bhunaktu
Sahaviryam Karavavahai
Sahaviryam Karavavahai
Tejasvinavadhitamastu
Tejasvinavadhitamastu
Ma vidvishavahai
Ma vidvishavahai
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Hari Om Tat Sat Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru. Acha, as I said in the beginning that earlier some slides shown earlier days you can replace with the slides shown today because there was some confusion regarding the sloka number. Okay.